so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Well, hello there. Thank you very much for joining us. Two Guys and a Goalie presented to you by GS Construction. And yes, you guessed it, GS Construction is hiring right now. And they'll even let you have tomorrow off so you can just follow trade deadline coverage right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's exciting times, Gage. You're one night away from the trade deadline.
I like it. Big show tomorrow. Well, I miss the old days, though. Don't you? Don't you miss the old days when it like every GM was the ultimate procrastinator and waited to the last day to
Just so many deals.
Oh, it was great. I remember guys calling in sick to work, staying home, scheduling surgeries so they would be home.
I wouldn't go to school in grade 11 and 12 on trade deadline day.
Yeah. It's I don't like that they get things done early.
I remember when I was in college at Lethbridge College, my buddies and I pitched our instructors, can we do a trade deadline show on the college radio station?
Oh, cool.
And they're like, sure, whatever you want. So all we would do is we would watch Sportsnet and TSN, and then when someone would break, we'd go turn on the mics and be like, and this trade just came in. And then we would talk about it, then we go back and watch more. Perfect. It was that was a lot of fun. Nancy, what do you got?
Pick him up. Ryan Reaves on waivers.
Ryan Reaves on waivers.
Riley Smith heading back to the Golden Knight.
What?
Ah,
What?
yeah.
Come on.
I couldn't send back to Golden Knights.
Riley Smith. Golden Knights trying to run it back. And Ryan Reaves on waivers. You think anybody claims Ryan Reaves?
Nope. No, I don't think so. No.
All right, Gage, are you afraid the Oilers claim Ryan Reaves?
It's a possibility.
We've been talking about the lack of grit in their bottom six.
Yeah.
That would be funny if I'm like, Cass, you think anybody should claim him? Nope. Tomorrow at this time, we're like, Oilers claim Ryan Reaves for toughness.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not going to be the case.
But that's not the toughness you need, though.
I know, I agree.
It's not like go out and try to dirty hit toughness. It's like hard to play against, fast, gritty, like digs for pucks. That's the type. That's what you're going for when we're talking about toughness. Not just I'm the best at fighting people. That's not what they need. But we'll see.
No, I think they just want Darnell Nurse to get even. So Nobla creates a drill where Nurse can run him to get retribution, right? That's why they pick him up.
That must be it. The Leafs obviously got something cooking here.
Yeah.
Hey, waive Reaves now, free up space.
Yeah.
To get something done maybe before the deadline tomorrow or later.
Where do the Leafs need help? Is it a center?
I was just talking about it with Huss. It was like Florida has brought guys in. Tampa pulled the trigger on a pretty good deal yesterday.
Yeah.
Toronto can't just sit there and do nothing, right?
No.
So they must have something.
They have to do something.
They must have something cooking.
But again, I mean, I think it's brilliant what now the Golden Knights and the Tampa Bay Lightning have done by bringing someone in who's familiar with every aspect of the team. I mean, it's a complete plug and play. He's played with probably certain people before. Great moves. That makes that Golden Knights team even tougher. A lot tougher.
It's just funny, just because we were having the Reaves joke conversation. I went back to Twitter and for some reason, maybe I follow this guy or he follows me, but he follows me. I don't know. Anyway, he's tagging the Edmonton Oilers in a tweet replying to the Ryan Reaves on waivers tweet. So, I mean, I don't think there'll be a big push in our market to claim Ryan Reaves.
I don't think so. I hope not. Again, like, it's just that is not what you need. It's not.
He's ineffective now. Like, he's borderline dinosaur, right? That type of player. But Matt Rempe. He's got some nice mitts, at least a little bit. Like, he's shown some touch at times. Sometimes. Whatever,
Limited, but he doesn't get a lot of opportunity either, right? So
I guess. But I don't know.
All right, it's Two Guys and a Goalie, presented to you by GS Construction. Of course, if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please tell your friends how easy it is to listen to our stuff, and you can text us during the show here at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and then over on the Nasty Chat on YouTube, you can chime in there, and if you're watching on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We are just under 25 hours away from the trade deadline. Gage, I will apologize to you. Before you get to EST Afternoons today, Hernan might be a little bit sour. I beat him 27-10 in our big Tecmo game earlier today.
Oh, then I have to hear him.
I know. I apologize.
You know what? I know how it's going to go. Dusty only picks the good teams. He can't play with a bad team. It's just ridiculous.
We both had good teams. That's the thing.
But that's what he said.
I know. He already said that to me.
Oh, did he?
He goes, you only beat me because we did good teams. I said, look, man, you're going to go up against the GOAT. You're going to take whoever. Like, whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, you should be good. He's going to be more ornery than usual today.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah.
I think so.
He already was. Like, I came in and he didn't say anything to me.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nanso giving you the silent treatment if you
Hey,
believe
Nanso, how's it going? And just crickets. And I think he said, save it for the show. And then turned around.
Are you on Sportsnet tonight?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Back-to-backs.
Back-to-backs.
Stoff's allowing this.
I'm like Pickard. Hopefully this performance is as bad as his last one.
When was the last time you had back-to-back starts, Gager?
I think I did. Did I have
earlier this season?
No, I think they snuck someone else in there. I don't know if I've gone back-to-back, to tell you the truth. It's, to be completely honest, it was supposed to be Struddy tonight, I think, but he's doing something at the game tonight in between periods too. So
they're letting him go play on the ice.
No, I think he's their 7th D. They're going 11-7.
Yeah, Dineen's been called up in an emergency situation. Supposed to make his debut, but Struddy's going to play tonight. We'll get to the Oilers roster. Some interesting decisions. We're going to get a look at Max Jones for the first time. They have to be chasing Jeff Skinner out of town, I would think.
Yeah.
This text is in from Mike in Thunder Bay. It says Ryan Reaves is on waivers. I really hope the Oilers don't value toughness so much that they bring in a washed-up refrigerator. Oilers management wouldn't possibly be that dumb. ... Would they?
Oh, man. They might.
No way.
They might, man. I don't know.
He makes too much money. I mean, how
much does he make?
They first of all, they have like nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Like we gotta see how much he makes here. Ryan Reaves, $1.3 million. And he has another year on his deal. I mean,
no.
I don't see anybody claiming him.
You threw that out in the bullpen about Skinner sitting out again. Have you discussed this at all? Him not playing tonight?
No, we didn't get into much on Lock Shop, so it's totally over. Trev, what's wrong? You're running over here. You scared me. Oh, did Cass go away for a second?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
I did. Yeah, I'm back though.
Well, let's start with you, Gager. What do you make of this Skinner stuff?
I'm perplexed. I don't understand it. I mean, I thought his level of compete was getting better, and he was scoring, although sometimes in a losing cause. But
man, everybody's been scoring in a losing cause lately. If you score, right?
Yeah, he's the only one that has been scoring a little bit, and the amount of times he's put with other skilled players it just doesn't make sense to me, unless it's one of those cases where maybe these top guys don't think there's chemistry between them, and they can't accomplish much together. Just for him to be,
I mean, if they did think there was chemistry there, he'd be in. Don't you think? Like,
well,
he's 6th on the team in goals, and they're playing Max Jones tonight.
I don't know. I mean, I would be. If I were him, I would think, you know what? I've changed the way I play. I've been competing more, and I'm still not getting an opportunity. It might be able to get rid of that that anchor symbol that you see on Puckpedia and try to find a place for him.
Cass, do you think that they're trying to have Jeff be like, okay, fine, move me?
I kind of get that feeling, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you kind of have to get that feeling because you're like, okay, we're trying to find a way to bring in another defenseman, make some more moves. We don't have the cap space. We got this whole issue going on with Evander Kane, and he's not really budging on this, and this is going to turn into a fight. So how about we try to pressure a guy that we know likes playing in the top six? And yeah, he's been pretty good recently, but he's got that no move trade clause that we were just throwing out to everybody. And maybe if we make it miserable enough for him, he'll be willing to waive it. I have to think that's the reason, guys, because they're really so there's no other reason. Okay, but let's be Gage, are you seeing this?
Oh yeah.
It's an evil business. Like don't kid yourself. It's not all hunky dory. Evil maybe isn't the right word. It's a cutthroat business. That would be a better word, where it's ruthless. Evil isn't the right word. I would say it's ruthless. And if that's what they're going to try to do to leverage it, wouldn't shock me in the slightest.
Yeah, it's not all pregame meals at the Pan Pacific Hotel and those in Vancouver and those puffy pillows. God, they were great.
Those meals or the pillows?
Both.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh, those pillows at the Pan Pacific. Is it still called the Pan Pacific? I don't even know.
Nobody knows.
But your head would just sink, and to the point where you couldn't hear anything. And then the spreads of the pregame meals. Remember those, Cass? How great were those things? Like steaks, chicken. It was just great. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
depends on the hotel. Depends on the hotel, but it's not all that. I agree. Yeah, completely.
Where do you guys come out on eating in a hotel bed?
Disgusting.
Why wouldn't you?
I do it.
Don't just go sit at the table?
Well, no, like if in bed.
Oh, I guess I sit on the edge of the bed with the cart. I would do that.
Yeah, no. Like when I'm on the road for CFL, like I'll whip out to like Subway, get a sub, and sit in bed and eat it.
Is it like okay? So they're usually cut in half.
I sit back.
Is one on your chest?
No. I sit back. I have like 2 pillows behind me, 3 pillows behind me,
sitting
and
up.
I got an eating pillow. So I put like the sub on a sub or a pita on the pillow in front of me, and I'll eat it, and then I'll wipe off all the crumbs and go about my business.
So you're in a crummy bed.
Yeah. Now a lot of the times there are 2 beds, so if one gets like too messy, I go sleep in the other bed.
I
have an eating bed. When my wife's not with me, I have an eating bed and I have a sleeping bed.
What did TSN exec say when you say I need 2 beds? What is the reason for that?
So an eating bed and a sleep.
I need an eating bed and a sleeping bed.
I love it. Oh, that's great.
Okay. So Cass, you eat? Sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say? Do you eat in bed or not in a hotel?
I would, yeah.
Yeah,
I would.
Okay, that's 2. That's a majority.
Okay.
You lose, Gager.
Yeah.
No,
you're the weirdo.
I'm a weirdo, I guess.
I mean,
going to the table and eating there.
It depends on what it is. It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
I got to caveat that. Caveat.
What about a box of pizza, and you're having a couple slices?
Yeah.
That's on your chest.
I eat pizza in bed.
Greasy.
No, because
greasy.
it's greasy, but you can open up the top, and then the top acts like a plate.
So
It's right there.
when the girl comes in to clean, she goes, "Why is this pillow so greasy? This guy was."
Doesn't matter. I'm gone by then. Like when I'm on the road, nobody comes into my room at all. I'm only usually there for like 2 nights. Nobody's coming in to clean my room.
Man.
Yeah.
Bubble bath, pizza carton.
Pizza in bed.
Wow, what a life.
Hey, that's the Canadian Football League, baby.
Yeah.
That's as Canadian as they come, I think.
I hate it because I like it.
Denny Wilkie says pizza in a hotel bed is next level. Yes, it is, my man. Yes, it is. Especially in Regina at Western Pizza, because it's absolutely delicious.
Probably just a massive greasy wheel from a old school pizza
Like
place.
Western Pizza is like basically Versato's.
Yeah.
Remember Versato's here? And then like Vern's. It's like that type of the thick stuff.
Yeah.
So good. So good. Anyway, got distracted.
Sorry.
Yeah. So if you're like, Cass, Max Jones comes in. He's like the exact opposite player of Skinner. Like probably not a lot of finish. He's big. Yep. I'm assuming he hits people. Is this more of a message that the others like to the group right now? Like we need these types of guys in our lineup more than this type of guy?
I think it's a message to the group that, we got to play a little bit more with a little bit more oomph. I think the group knows that, though. I think, does this group not realize they're soft to play against? Like, they're easy to play against? Because, and so I don't even know if it's a message, if it's just like, oh, yeah, this makes sense. Everybody's kind of like, oh, yeah, I kind of get that. Because you need to make it harder for other teams to play against you, because it's just too easy right now. You're giving out too much defensively. It's too easy in your own zone. They have to, guys. They have to.
They can't be oblivious to that.
Yeah.
I mean, even the stats back up that they're the soft.
Their inability to make it tough physically on the other team is quite evident over the last few months. I wonder, can you actually, obviously, aside from Connor and Leon, who their identity is highly skilled, able to score, but usually that doesn't translate through your whole lineup. Well, with everyone else, what is the identity of the Edmonton Oilers? I think because they've relied on these two guys for so long, and one of the reasons I think that Connor McDavid looks like he's exhausted is because the way that they've had to come back in games and win games when it's so difficult when you're trailing and trying to chase it. But the rest of the team, to a point, sometimes looks like they're trying to do the same things as Connor and Leon are trying to do, right? The little backhand sauce pass 2 feet on either side of the blue line, right? Or the very difficult play, like going 80 feet with a sauce pass over 2 sticks, delaying, and no one who drives to the net on a regular basis. That's why I was excited. No one.
Nobody.
The amount of pull-ups that this team does while going wide. I mean, if I'm a defenseman on another team, great, because half the time these guys have almost a step, or now I got to get into this battle with a guy, and no one's willing to take the puck to the net. And Connor did it a few times yesterday. Well, he did it on the goal too, but no one else. Everyone pulls up and looks for some late guy. And they do love the late guy, don't they? But there's no late guy.
They love the late guy. They turn around and look for the late guy.
No late guy.
Where's the late guy?
Yeah.
Where's the late guy?
Late guy's too late.
Where is he?
All right, here's a tweet from Rashog in regards to Evander Kane. Says, my understanding is that Kane hasn't put back-to-back days of intense workouts together, and as the deadline draws near, it's perhaps becoming more apparent that a return to playoff time is more likely. With that said, they'll be careful here, but my sense is we could see them with more cap space to work with than previously thought. And I said yesterday on Oil Stream, I think the worst case scenario here for the Oilers, which would be the most Oilers thing of all time, is that Kane's like, I'll probably be back in April. And they don't use the LTIR space. Then Kane goes, surprise, I'll be back in the playoffs. And your entire organization looks like a joke. I mean, so we'll see. Cass, if they do, in fact, have Kane's LTIR space, which you would like to know more than 24 hours before the deadline, which is essentially where we're at right now. I mean, they can fill some holes here. I mean, they could be pretty aggressive over the next 24 hours if Kane is 100% telling them that he's not going to be good to go until the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, at least he didn't do it like an hour before the deadline.
Yeah.
Throw that little bit up for you.
Fires the McCall at noon tomorrow, this time tomorrow. Hey, man, I'm out for the playoffs. Go get somebody.
It gives you way more flexibility, right? It does. It gives you way more flexibility if he indeed is on the long term, because you can then retain him. Like, you're not having to trade him to get the cap space. You can retain him, get the cap space, and then screw over the cap system in the playoffs just like everybody else does. So, yeah, I mean, this is probably the best news if Evander Kane quietly is just like, oh, yeah, actually, I'll probably be close to playoffs here. Like, that really is the best news for the Edmonton Oilers. No, I think you still might try to trade him, maybe. But at least you have a little maybe a bit more certainty around what that cap situation is going to be. Because you need to know heading into tomorrow. Like, you have to. And you'd have to think that the calls they're making, the conversations they're having are all based on exactly where Evander Kane's at. So if the information coming out is now that he's going to wait till playoffs and he's not going to fight you on it, it just gives you a little bit more leeway, fellas.
Can you tell me why it seems like every time we get to this cap issue at the playoffs and it's unlimited at that point, why GMs are okay with it? Why would you be okay with that? Wouldn't you want
putting your team up against a cap?
Yeah. So why are they okay with a team being able to ice a $100 million roster in playoffs?
$120 million roster, yeah.
Opposed to a team that, maybe so they've battled all year. Maybe there's some trades. They've kept it all on board. They get to the playoffs. They're still cap compliant, and now they got to go up against a $110 million team. Like, why do you like that? Why do you like those? Like, I'm fine with being over the cap in the playoffs because extra bodies, whatever, call-ups from the minors, whatever it is. But when you ice your team for game day, I think your team should be cap compliant.
At the cap.
Yeah.
It completely changes the structure of the league. At
I
that
agree
time.
too.
If you want to have $100 million around during the playoffs, that's fine. But you can dress 88.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that wouldn't be it's almost like, well, they're allowing teams to get away from a level playing field.
Yeah.
Right? It's ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous.
It's common
guys,
sense.
that's been the issue.
It's common sense.
Yeah, but that's been an issue for the last number of years.
I know.
We see Vegas do it, Tampa do it. Dallas is going to do it this year, and they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a really tough out because they have a significant amount of cap space that's going to be tied up in Heiskanen and Sagan until playoffs start. So, you've already seen them add Granlund and CC. You're going to see them add some more here where it's just they're getting even more scary. So Edmonton needs to jump on this train because you might as well. I don't understand it. I don't like it, but that's the reality of the situation. So might as well weasel that cap space, boys. Weasel it on out.
Trade deadline is tomorrow. It's the Nate Trade Watch segment. Take your career to the next level with Nate's construction, leadership, and supervision program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. For more information or to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP. That's nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level today. Trades so far today in the National Hockey League. Then we'll continue with the Oilers and the Habs tonight. Riley Smith at noon today was sent back to the Vegas Golden Knights. The New York Rangers get Brendan Brisson and a 2025 third-round pick. That third-round pick belongs to the San Jose Sharks. So they're getting the Sharks pick, and the Rangers are going to retain 50% of Riley Smith's salary. So Vegas bringing back in a veteran that they are familiar with. That just makes things easier, right? When you know a guy already, that just makes so much sense for Vegas.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great pickup.
Exact reason I thought the Oilers should have claimed Jesse Puljujärvi today. Familiar with just. I'm kidding.
I was thinking Strome maybe, but I guess,
Strome scoring the other night. God.
He scores every game against the Oilers.
They should have kept that guy.
Yeah, they should have.
Nico Sturm. I almost said Marco Sturm. Nico Sturm has been traded to the Florida Panthers today, so there's another contender that's picked somebody up. Sturm and a 2027 seventh-round pick going to the Panthers, a 2026 fourth-round pick going to the Sharks. And earlier this morning, the first trade of the day, Brian Dumoulin going to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for a 2025 second-round pick and Herman Traff. And 50% of Dumoulin's salary will be retained there. As I liked him for the Ducks the other night. I think he scored last. A good pickup for somebody.
Really good.
And the Devils are interesting because they don't have Jack Hughes, but obviously they want to shore some things up here and try to remain in the thick of it out east.
Yeah, that's too bad. Done for the year, huh? Shoulder? Did you see him going to the boards?
Yeah. I did see him going to the boards. A little bump there for Michael. Went in heavily. Not ideal. Not ideal. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Cody Cecil, Dusty. All I can say is Gage or Cass and yourself, the trade talk is so soft. You're all just fragile. And you know what, Cass? I wanted your thoughts on this. Like,
A good one.
how much of a team being fragile actually falls on the coach? Like, is it like a 5% number or is it like a 50%? I mean, I'm trying to gauge.
Trying to make it tangible.
Yeah, like,
oh man,
how much of that
that's a
should
tough
fall on the
tangible
coach?
number. Well, I think a good amount of it should. Right, but that being said, Knobloch doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's panicking behind closed doors in front of everybody. That's like losing his mind. Like he's pretty calm and cool, and sometimes too calm and cool. Maybe that's what they need. Is they need him to lose his mind once or twice and to have that snap show moment that you get once or twice a year if you're a coach, and to pull that out of your back pocket. But you have to think that there is a portion of it. So it gets so hard to say, oh, what percentage is it? Because it's going to be different for different groups. But the coach absolutely has an impact on that in what you're saying, in what you're doing in between games, and what you're doing in between periods in the dressing room, and what you're saying and what you're communicating and your demeanor on the bench. Like that's it factors into it. But I just haven't seen from him. Like I haven't seen him panic. Right. And beyond that, this isn't a rookie group where they're going to take their cues from the coach in regards to how to respond to that sort of thing. Well, it might take a little bit, even as veteran guys. You're going to look to your coach to calm you down when you need to be calm, and amp you up when you need to get amped up. But the majority of this still has to fall on the team. So if I have to pick a percent, if you're twisting my arm and like pick a percent or I'll break your arm, I'd probably go 5%.
I don't think I could physically break your arm, Cass. So I don't think that's a threat that would ever be able to fall through. So wait, what did you say? 5%?
If you did 5%, that's what I picked. A pretty low mark, in my opinion.
Gager, would you go higher
For
the fragility of a team on the coach? How much of it falls on the coach? Cass at 5%.
Oh yeah, depends on the eight. So you're saying the Oilers, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say a little bit more. I'm going to go 10% because I think he needs to snap a little bit. Like if I'm Knobloch, just sure that you come out with a good start. I had a coach one time. He came in and we were struggling for a bit, and he came in after warm up and yelled at us about our warm up. And it was all a ploy, right?
Yeah.
Like, but he was pointing guys out and saying how crappy their warm up was, and got everyone riled up. And we went and trounced we were up by 5 after the first. Usually I needed that to secure a victory, but in that case it was all right. But it was, I think he needs to do something that shows that he is engaged too, right? You can't just be calm, easy, calm waters, right? I think it's almost time to have, and maybe it has. Who knows? We don't know what's happened before or after games, but something needs to change. Something needs to happen to make this group a little bit more angry during a game. Just hate the other team a little bit more.
780-218-9999. You can use up over in the nasty chat as well. And we'll get to a few of those text messages. Well, actually, let's dive into some nasty chats right now. Brian says, guys, stop speculating on Kane's timeline. He will not be ready till playoff time. So that's just talk about what they're going to bring in to help this team. Let's be positive in this situation.
Is that someone just being angry? No, that's
If-
the angry we need. That's the anger we need.
If they have $5 million available, Cass, do you split it on like a $2.5 million defenseman and a borderline middle six $2.5 million forward? What do you? How would you distribute $5 million to fix this roster right now?
I'm spending all that money on the best defenseman I can find.
Yeah.
Screw hedging. Spend it all on the best defenseman I can find. all in one place. Throw it in.
Who is that guy?
I don't
even
know
who it is.
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question. I want it to be Provorov so bad, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be.
Yeah, no, it's got to be a defenseman. It's hard-nosed, tough to play against. God, it's too bad. Adam Larson. Cliffbaum looked fine too. I don't know why he did.
Yeah. I mean, did you chat with him at all?
I did.
And he's not coming back, eh?
God, I brushed by him.
Yeah.
Like I touched his shoulder.
Did you feel handsome immediately?
No, but he's made of granite still.
Always was, right?
Jesus.
Some guys are just born like that.
Wow. Yeah, unfortunate. Really nice guy though. What a good guy.
All right, so and remember, they could still retain on some of this.
Okay.
I'm just looking at defensemen on the trade bait board right now. Okay.
Yep.
Carson Soucy, 3.3 mil. Rasmus Ristolainen, 5.1 mil. That would basically take all your Kane space if you wanted. Connor Murphy, 4.4 million. Mario Ferraro, I know his name popped up a little bit on social media last night. He's 3.25 million. Oleksiak's 4.6. Bowen Byram, I don't know if that would be something that would happen here. Savard, 3.5 million. Carlo, 4. I know people love Carlo. If you have the Kane LTIR space and you're willing to pay the price, I mean, if Carlo is available, he's got 2 years left. He's got another year next year. Like, would that be the guy, Cass? Would it be Carlo that you would go after? Or what about some of those other names that I mentioned, like Oleksiak or Ristolainen?
Yeah.
If the Kane money's out there, they can do that without needing much help.
Yeah. Ristolainen, because I watched him play when I was in Columbus a little while ago. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be the fit. I mean, Carlo would probably be that guy in the guys that you listed if you could get him. I probably would lean towards Carlo for what he can bring, being on that right side, big-bodied. Oleksiak, I'd have time for that too, I think, ahead of those guys. But I think if I had to pick one of those guys to say, this is it, this is the guy, this is what I want, I probably would lean towards Carlo right now. Yeah, he's
28. He's got 2 years left after this year.
Oh, okay.
So you'd have him around for a little bit. I mean, I think that would be.
How big is Carlo?
Somebody just in the chat says the Jets would be in on Carlo as well. So a little Canadian bidding war. Carlo's 6'5".
Yeah.
220 pounds.
So that
I don't have his fancies in front of me. I'm sorry for that.
It's all right. Yeah, I just wanted, because Oleksiak's is just a big body.
Well, Oleksiak's even
huge,
bigger, right?
Like he's 6'7", 256. Like they need someone of that size. If they can, right? So either one of those two guys, I have time for. Probably lean more towards Carlo because you got the term, right?
So if you can get Carlo, I mean, that should probably be the play here if you have the Kane money.
Yeah.
If you can get Carlo, you're going to get him for his 29, 30-year-old seasons next. So you get a couple of runs at a cup with him.
Yeah.
And he's only 4.1 mil.
Perfect.
So that could, with the cap going up, like that's a number that you can probably swallow post LTIR next year. Daniel K says, would love Carlo, but the Oilers don't have the assets to do a bidding war. And Daniel, I would disagree. I mean, Tampa just moved 2 firsts.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, but I'm saying they've got pick capital over the next couple of years that if they have to move 5 picks to take a legitimate run this year, then they can move 5 picks.
They have 1 first in the 2026. If it comes down to
and
that,
2027, like they've got
move
their,
it. Move it.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time to get that back at some point, maybe, right? Or around, who knows?
B Power says, I thought I heard Calgary was in on Carlo as well. Yep, that was a couple of days ago. I saw Carlo and Calgary possibly linked together. I think that's when Oilers fans started to be really frustrated. They're like, man, Calgary's going to be in on Carlo. But if they do have the Kane space, I mean, I think Carlo would probably be damn near the top of the list as far as targets.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Sailor in the chat says, if you get Alexiak at 50% retained and Kane goes on LTIR, the others would still have $2 million in money to play with. Get crazy, Stanley. That's so there. I mean, that's something that you could look at as well.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at other defensemen. I mean, it basically falls off after the Carlo conversation, I think. But that would be a night. Like, that would be the deal that gets fans pumped.
Oh gosh,
nothing against. And there's obviously a conversation open right now. I'm sure they've already talked about Carlo when they were getting Frederick and used all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've already made a trade with that team this year. So, yeah, I think that would probably be a pretty big one. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. So if, and these are all big ifs right now, if the Kane LTIR space is available and he is able to come back and play in playoffs, then you have Kane being added to the group at playoff time, Frederick hopefully before playoff time, and if you can get Carlo, I mean, Gage, that's three pretty good pieces that they don't have right now that could improve this team significantly.
Yes, on paper.
But what's the but?
Evander Kane.
Yeah.
You can't. It's tough for me because I think he will be valuable, even though if he comes back and he feels good, like healthy, and it's going to take him time to get up to speed, but he's just going to be a physical presence too. Like he finishes checks and stuff. Like he's a mean player. So I think he will be able to assimilate quicker to the playoff atmosphere than maybe another guy that has been sitting out for the whole season. But I just worry about it, man. It's going to be very, very difficult to jump in, get your timing, shot, because everything's going to be happening at such a lightning pace that he is just not used to yet.
Somebody in the chat says...
I worry about it. But him coming back and being able to play that physical. That being said, I do agree with you, Dusty. If you can get him at a good level coming back, and those three guys, if it were to be Carlo as well, I mean, that's a pretty good bump for your roster. And you're significantly over the cap, which you have to be.
And I mean, that line that we spoke of last time, like Frederick and Kane and Perry, that's an energy line, That would be that can change the tide of a series for sure, I think. Right? And it's a part of the game that the Oilers are lacking. Right? That's what they need. That's why they got Max Jones essentially. So hopefully he can provide a little bit more of a spark tonight.
Yeah, I was wondering, will Max Jones be around that long? And probably not. But then I saw that the Oilers today posted a video of Max Jones seeing the room for the first time. I'm like, interesting that you're doing the promo video of the guy who we thought was thrown in the Frederick deal seeing the room for the first time. Maybe there's more of a plan here.
They got to do something. You see the price of tickets?
Yeah. They gotta find. I don't know how long I'd have to save up to get a loge table for the first round of the playoffs.
Gosh,
I don't even.
A lot.
The guy yesterday said it was $50,000.
What?
Yeah, somebody texted in yesterday and said, Dusty, it's a business thing. It's a company that he works for, but they said it was going to be for the 4 home games for a loge table in the first round, $50,000, which I'm not necessarily sure I believe. But then I had other people texting me the prices of their tickets, and I'm like, and it was also ridiculous.
Wow.
So
that's 4 tickets. So let's do the math. That's 50. That's 4 games. So that's $12,500 a game. 4 tickets. That's $3,100 a ticket, roughly $3,125 a ticket.
That can't be it. I mean, I know the loge table is pretty nice, but there's no way. There's no way that can't be that. That can't be it. But I mean, because
if they're probably not all the same, right? If you get it in where the Oilers score twice, it's way more money, a little bit more, whatever. Right? If you get it in the other side, it's probably
you're still paying $3,000 to go sit in that seat though in the playoffs.
And
I mean, if you're a business, I guess, and you're a successful business and you take clients and stuff, I mean, maybe it's an investment that's worth it. But that seems unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
See, now Tyler says, and see, this is why I said I just can't believe it. Tyler says it was $50,000 for the entire playoffs last year for the loge table. So let's do the math on that. That was 16. That would be 16 games. Now that is more reasonable.
Yeah.
And there's four seats.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, what do you say, 50,000. There's no way it could
$780 a game. Basically.
$780 a ticket.
Yeah.
For the Loge, I mean, that's probably what that's going to. Yeah, that's probably what. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's still pricey as hell.
Yeah.
But people are going to pay a significant amount for the playoffs. I had one guy said he's got 2 tickets, and he showed me how like it was priced out, like a little map or whatever. Said it was 2 tickets for the playoffs. If they go all 16 games, it cost them $30,000 for 2 tickets.
Wow.
So actually, at that point, the Loge table deal isn't that bad.
Don't you just buy them and sell them though? At that point, and maybe go to 1 or 2. I guess
For the playoffs.
Yeah. But you don't know how far it's going to go.
If you can recoup a big chunk of it, if it gets pretty crazy, if you pick the right games to sell your tickets, you might be able to get almost all that money
back. Yeah.
Tyler says they spent $120K all in for the year last year.
Jesus.
Man, where's this guy work, eh? Must be a pretty big deal. Denny says, Dusty, I was looking at $2K per ticket in the Upper Bowl during the Western Conference Final last year. That would be on the reseller sites, right?
Yeah.
So you buy your ticket and then you move it at an absolutely ridiculous price. So the Oilers and the Habs tonight. No Ekholm, no Klingberg for the Oilers tonight. Cass, Ekholm. I mean, somebody said, Dusty, you should have never shared an inhaler with Ekholm in November. Because, I mean, he looks like he's been sick for a while now.
Yeah.
At this point, probably better off just trying to get him some rest and get him back up to speed, man. Because, like, he's been playing through it, and I want to be like, hey, good on you, man, for pushing through, but he's like minus 11. And, like, it hasn't been good for a month
reflecting.
for Ekholm. Yeah.
No, it's reflecting. You can hear it when he talks. You can see it when he skates and moves. Like his body is just quitting, and it needs some rest. So, yeah, stay home, Matthias. Get some chicken noodle soup, eat some reindeer, and have a nap because we need you back. But listen. You, especially with I think the way the team started coming out of the break, where it's like you needed him to play. And with Darnell Nurse hurt, you needed Matthias Ekholm in without question. And he tried to give you what he could. But we could all see it. So going to be a little bit of a different look without him in the lineup today. It creates some more challenges again without him. But I'm sure they're looking at this going like, okay, if we could choose to not have Matthias Ekholm versus Montreal, or we could choose to not have him versus Dallas, we're probably picking Montreal. So, it will be a different look for the defense for the Edmonton Oilers tonight, but Ekholm needs to take that little bit of a napper, get some sleep, and we'll see how the rest of the group handles it because it hasn't been well. That I can tell you.
Looks like Rick Grimes in Walking Dead season.
What
like
season?
4.
I was going to say later
5,
on.
Yeah,
Grimes looked pretty good early.
Yeah, he was all fat.
I loved his wife.
Oh,
she was Dr. Sarah Tancredi in Prison Break too, and I loved her in Prison Break.
She was awesome in Prison Break.
Yeah. I had a crush on her pretty good.
She was in Letterkenny too as the.
Oh yeah, she was one of the
wife.
She was the wife of John Ovision. Man, I watch those on YouTube all the time. They are hilarious.
Oh my God!
What's their last name?
What's
their last name? What is it?
Oh shoot! God, they're good. I need the Dicks.
The Dicks.
The Dicks.
I need a dick. Her name is Anita Dick.
I need a dick.
Yeah, he's like, have you seen our little dicks?
Yeah.
Like that is a funny bit. That is a funny bit.
Jonathan Torrens when
you had him there?
Yeah, I go, how do you not start cracking
about
up?
that bit?
I didn't ask him. I was about to ask him, and he went into it, and he said being with her and other really established actors, they're so professional that he said I was more worried about just hitting my stuff. So I didn't really even have time to acknowledge what they were doing. I was so focused on delivering what I had to do that because I never would have gotten through any
hilarious
of that.
They've got there's like four or five of them.
Yeah,
like those. They've done it. And every single one of them is hilarious. If you need a laugh this afternoon, you want to get sucked down a bit of a YouTube hole, just check out Letterkenny, The Dicks. And it is, that's funny. That's really funny. So what do you think? What happens tonight? The building's going to be full of Habs fans.
They lose.
The Oilers lose?
Oh, yeah.
You think they lose to the Habs too? Jeez, man.
Yeah, this is... the loss of Matthias Ekholm, even when he's not at 100%, is massive. And you got a Habs team that's hungry. What have they won their last 5? They're fast. They're aggressive. I just don't think, from what I've seen from the Oilers up to this point, they look. I hate to say it, they look their age, Dusty.
I know.
They look slow, and they don't engage physically. There's no bite in their game. The second efforts, it seems like they look for places to not engage physically with other teams, and that is not the way you're going to win hockey games, especially when it gets to the playoff time. I don't. It's going to take something to change this team, but I just think having Matthias Ekholm out, he's almost a bigger issue than having either Connor or Leon out of a game, just with the way this team defends.
Cass, if you're Max Jones, you try to find a dance partner in the first period tonight?
Oh, first shift.
Yeah.
Like right away?
You're
Like
running somebody first shift.
He had 3
right away.
fights in 20. Like he's fought Luke Kunin, White Cloud, Marcus Foligno, Jeremy Lazon, Sergachev. Like he's a willing combatant. I don't know if he's good at it, but you're being inserted into the lineup tonight for a team that's been described as super soft. Like
I would rather him do this though, Dusty.
Okay.
Instead of asking someone off the draw,
don't give them an
politely,
option.
Don't make them come to
just
you.
run somebody.
Okay.
Make
Run
them come
Yes.
to you. Go spray
Yes.
the goalie. Hit a guy late.
Go run somebody, and make Anderson deal with
and
you.
turn around,
Right? Like,
drop your gloves, and say, "Come get some." Right?
Mhm.
That is what I want to see. I don't want to see the peace treaty
Where he's like, hey,
negotiation.
give me one, let's-
No. You go out there and you change the whole temperature of the game by like making the other team so frustrated and mad that someone has to do something about the way that you're playing. That's the type of attitude that the Edmonton Oilers need throughout the whole lineup. Everyone.
Yep.
Everyone needs to play that way.
Absolutely, Gager. Like, it's not just, I'm going to go and get in a fight with somebody. It's no, I'm going to go and drive someone crazy so they have to.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to go make them nuts so they have to engage with me. I'm going to make it so my teammates have to get involved in a scrum.
Exactly.
Because, everyone's flying in there because I just did something like.
That just hits differently, right? Like
Way
for the whole group.
differently.
Like,
It just hits differently. Yeah.
Way differently. And you want
Way
to
differently.
you want to engage the fans and get them on your side too as a new guy coming in. That's what you do. Like
You do it and then you just salute and you
Yeah.
go sit in the penalty box.
yeah.
Yeah.
and the place would be going absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
On both sides of it.
Oh yeah.
So, and there have been a few guys on Montreal. You might, Gordon McDowell in the chat says, Jack, I might eat him.
Well, yeah, well, perfect.
Yeah. If that's what has to happen, that's what has
Jack
to happen.
Eye come out and get you. I mean, there would be nothing better than that. Make him have to do something.
Yeah.
Love it.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Sunny D says, guys, what about a line/bench brawl to change the mojo? A different time, different place, maybe? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Does Montembeau drop the gloves? I don't know. Stewie Skins? I could see Stewie Skins go.
he could
Go.
use one. He could use one.
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Or you sign Mike Smith for a day.
Yeah. Were you guys ever in a situation at the deadline, like the day before, the morning of, where you were expecting to be traded or you were super worried about it? Gager, what about no?
No, not at all.
So you never had the deadline nerves ever?
No. I thought of maybe a package, but yeah.
Like when you were younger,
Yeah,
maybe? Like
yeah.
packaged out, but
Maybe,
never.
but yeah, no.
Cass, what about you, man? Team looking for some toughness?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had semi-inkling, and it's still a shock. Like when I got traded to Ottawa, that something might happen.
What time of year did that happen?
It was a couple weeks before the trade
Okay,
deadline.
a couple weeks before.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks before. I can't remember exactly the date, but it wasn't right. But it was approaching the deadline, but it happened before. I mean, I was a guy that was worried every single day that I was going to get put on waivers, so it was nothing new for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was. That was just part and parcel. Yeah, that fear and anxiety is something you had to deal with every single day. So it wasn't like just the trade deadline in of itself was a panic mode for me. No, I mean, I saw enough guys go through that, packing big suitcases on the road just in case they get traded if you're playing on that day or if you're on the road like during the trade deadline day, just so that you had your Gucci stuff for one or two of the guys that really like Gucci stuff.
Jeez,
but yeah, I didn't.
Gucci bag.
To deal with that.
You can always tell a guy that's worried about getting. Yeah, you can always tell a guy that's going to be sent to the minors or worried about waivers by just going to his house and looking in his fridge because he's never going to buy a ton of groceries. There might be, it'll be a small milk, a couple apples maybe.
Yeah, one box of cereal.
Yeah, and then maybe like the chicken breast, but not the big pack, like the one that comes in twos because you don't.
Yeah, have to go buy them more because you're not. What are you going to do? You're going to waste. God, so were you a tiny fridge guy then?
Yeah. I mean, I was a living hotel guy, so no fridge guy. Yeah, that was more my reality for a long time. And then it was tiny fridge. Yeah, empty fridge for a long time.
We are 24 hours and 8 minutes away from the trade deadline. Gager, what are we talking about on the oil stream tomorrow at this exact time, do you think?
Unfortunately, I don't think much. I think it might be. Man. It might look like last year a few insulating pieces that might, but I just don't see them making a huge splash.
Cassie, you're in agreement on that? Like, are we sitting here being like, why haven't they done anything?
It's going to be tough to, because even if they haven't done anything, I know that they've tried. Right? They're trying to do something.
And still can't get it done. Yeah.
I still think they get something done. They get something done.
There will be some sort of trade for us to talk about around this time tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Some sort of trade. Now, what level of trade, is it a big splash or not? That's where I have a little bit of concern that it might just have to be something small, but I'm hopeful.
Well, I'm sure something small will go over well. I'm sure something small will go over well.
In this economy,
they're going to need Trent Frederick to score 16 goals in the playoffs just so management can walk around the city in the offseason.
That's cool.
Jack from Proham says, EST partner here. I will make myself available for any game that you want to take me to in the playoffs. #, Loge life is the best life. I was like, I have never sat there. I sat there, actually, I lie. I sat there during the pandemic when each member of the media had like their own table. You had like your own Loge table because you had to be so far apart. But that's it. I mean, nice view.
I only went to I didn't even know where that level existed. And a friend of mine said, come see me. Are you at the game? And I went to go see him. And I go, where are you? And then I went in there. And it's pretty cool.
They call it's bougie.
Yeah, it's very bougie.
It's bougie.
And I couldn't believe the amount of people buying drinks. There were like 30 waitresses with their machines and everyone's tapping.
I mean, if you're living the Loge life, you're having a couple bevies, Gager.
Well, you don't realize.
Even if you're faking it, you're like,
there was a lot of people faking it, but not making it.
All right, I want to wrap up with this one. Zedmo1 over there in the nasty chat. Probably the perfect way to wrap up the pre-deadline show. Expect an overpayment for a lateral move. Hope that's not the case.
I hope not.
What's coming up on EST afternoons?
We'll talk about obviously Canadians game tonight. We got Arpon Basu from the Athletic in Montreal. Talk a little Canadians. Red Light District 140. Our favorite segment, the trade watch. Maybe something will happen. Who knows?
You guys might get a deal. There'll be a deal at some point this afternoon somewhere in the league.
Yeah, we'll go into a little F1. We're only a week away from Melbourne. So, and then
a week away. Holy smokes!
I know.
Did you get your 2 spots figured out? We've
got the resumes in.
Okay,
and we've gone
decisions.
over. So
now the tough time.
I might have to enlist some help from around here to pick some of these because they're good. We got 2 full PowerPoint presentations.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. That's great. EST Afternoons with Hernan and Gager coming up. Turn on autoplay on YouTube. You don't have to go anywhere. It just takes you right on over. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, they'll be up in about 5 minutes, if not fewer. And I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, getting our deadline day coverage started right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. For Matt Kassian, Joaquin Gage, I am Dustin Nielson. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Stick around for all of our shows. Take it easy.